Today we're traveling across East and Southeast Asia by way of some of the region's most beloved treats. We'll be seeing if I can recreate them in my tiny North Carolina kitchen. Bird! And discovering if their taste
Not great.
lives up to their reputation. That is fantastic. Our first stop is Korea by way of a traditional street sweet called bungeoppang. I got a little help from my friend Juhei to help me pronounce this correctly.
bungeoppang.
Bungeoppang. Bungeoppang.
Bunge means goldfish. Pang means bread. bungeoppang.
It's spelled in English bungeoppang. I'm not sure how that gets to
bungeoppang.
bungeoppang. Am I close? I don't know. Moving on, we're making it. Bungeoppang is sold by street vendors in South Korea. It's a fish-shaped pastry that can be filled with custard, chocolate, Nutella, even ice cream. The traditional filling is red bean paste, which is what we're using today. If you're a fan of K-dramas, as I definitely am, you may have seen bungeoppang featured in Vincenzo, 2521, or maybe Reply 1988. I did, which is why we're making them today. They're particularly popular in the wintertime when it's cold and you go to the street vendor and they give you this warm, yummy, delicious bag of fish. But they're nothing like fish. They don't taste like fish. They're sweet, they're yummy. They have yummy fillings. At least I think they're yummy. I've never actually had one, but I'm super excited to make them today and see if they're as delicious as they look on TV. Let's get started. The pastry batter for bungeoppang is essentially like a pancake or a waffle batter. So flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, salt, eggs, and milk. The ingredient that separates bungeoppang from pancakes or waffles is rice flour, which gives them more of a chew. What do I mean by chew? You know how the outside of mochi is chewy? That's rice flour. I found rice flour at my local Super G-Mart. If you can't find rice flour near you, it is available from multiple sources online. So, as I said, it's a real simple waffle or pancake batter. We're gonna mix it up real quickly. Flour, sugar, baking powder, baking soda, salt. We're gonna add the all-important rice flour. Just whisk to mix up the dry ingredients. I'm gonna whisk together the egg, milk. Now I'm gonna add the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients and I'll whisk them together just until they're well blended. When you were growing up and making pancakes, you might remember that the instructions said that the batter can be lumpy. The same, I think, applies to bungeoppang batter. So we're not gonna worry too much about any little lumps that are in there because while it's refrigerating for an hour, those lumps will dissolve and that will make the batter lighter and fluffier. So we're just gonna cover this and stick it in the fridge for an hour. While the batter's chilling, let's check out the origins of bungeoppang. In early 1900s Tokyo, a bakery owner named Seijiro Kobe was struggling to sell his round red bean cakes, known as imagawa yaki. To attract more customers, he made them smaller, more affordable, and gave them a lucky new shape, a sea bream, or tai, a fish symbolizing wealth and good fortune. The result was taiyaki, which literally means baked sea bream. The treat became a hit and later found its way to Korea during the Japanese occupation, when many Japanese street foods became part of everyday life there. In Korea, the sea bream shape changed to something more familiar, the carp, a common river fish, and the dessert took on a new name, bungeoppang, meaning carp bread. As you've just learned, Japanese taiyaki is intended to look like sea bream, while Korean bungeoppang is meant to look like carp. This is my mold, which looks decidedly like a cartoon goldfish, which, to be fair, is a type of carp. I'm assuming that in Asia, you can probably get molds that look more specifically like a Japanese sea bream or a Korean river carp. This is all I can find here in the States. So Cartoon goldfish it is. This mold would not do well on my glass top stove, so I've come outside to use this little camp stove. So let's light it up. Going to grease the inside of the molds with a little vegetable oil. This is very much like a waffle maker kind of a situation. I'm assuming the first pancake rule is going to apply here, that the first ones are going to be a disaster. Here is the batter that has been resting in the fridge. We're going to go ahead and heat up our grill. Traditional filling is a red bean paste. You can obviously buy this in any Asian grocery store. Your regular grocery store might have it. I made this last night ahead of time. It's pretty simple. I'll put the directions in the comments. You cook red beans until they're soft, blitz them in a food processor, add some sugar, and there you have red bean paste. I'm just gonna do one for now, test it, see how it goes. Already, I'm sensing it's too hot. You can start to see it's starting to brown around the edges, so I don't want to wait too long. And then you just put the red bean paste in the middle. Close it up. I probably should have brought some kind of timer out here because I have no idea how long this is taking. And it smells like it's burning. I'm going to flip it. It smells burning. Like too early. Ooh. Burned! This is a bit of an epic fail day. But, you know, there are signs, there are positive signs here to look at. It's cool. You can see like the little, all the what are those called? You can see all the little scales from the fish. It's undercooked on the bottom side. Actually, the bottom side's probably right. The color's a little better. Let's crack it open and see what it's like on the inside. It's undercooked on the inside. So we're gonna try this again, turn the heat down. But again, you know, first batch. I think I forgot to do this last time. Give it about a minute or so on this side, maybe a little longer. I turned the heat down and they were undercooked. Again, maybe I should have a timer. There is a saying in Korea that you can tell a person's personality by how they eat their bungeoppang. I am going to not share that information with you until we get somebody on camera to eat it, and then we'll be able to tell all about them. Ooh. Closer! We're getting there, people. Let's see how they are inside. We're going to turn the heat way down. I think the overall lesson of today, if there has to be a lesson, is low and slow. I'm trying to turn this as low as I can before it turns itself off. We're going to give it 2 minutes. I got a good feeling about this. Doesn't smell like anything. It doesn't smell burnt. Flipping it. Giving it 2 minutes again. I'm going to stay in the shade. Okay, timer's gone off. Let's take a peek again. Nope, not done. I'm going to turn up the heat just a smidge. Oh, it's up. All right, let's try it. Got a little stickage on one of them. That's that side looks good. Let's flip them over. Woo! We had a success today. Oh shoot, I haven't cut into it yet. All right, ready? Here we go. Oh, look at that. Look at that. So what's the verdict? Is bungeoppang as yummy and delicious as it looks on TV? I can see how this would be really glorious on a cold winter day because it's really warming up my hands. Not really necessary today in this North Carolina summer heat, but I'm taking a little bite into the red bean paste. Pretty good if I do say so myself.
I know it's a dessert, but it's not fully tasting like a dessert. I don't know if it's because it's shaped like a fish, but I feel like there's fish essence to this. It needs a lot of like icing on it because everything's better with icing.
Oh, it's actually nice. I would eat this. I am gonna eat it. Pastry's very fluffy. It's good.
As promised, here's your guide to character divination through bungeoppang. A person who starts by nibbling the top fin is a loner, prone to self-reflection, while those who go for the head are strong leaders. And anyone who bites the tail first, like me, is reserved and shy. Obviously. I hope you've enjoyed this culinary jaunt to Korea as much as I have. I know I'm already planning on whipping up a batch of strawberry jam-filled bungeoppang for my next Sunday brunch. Let me know in the comments what you'd fill your fish with. We're gonna hang out here in Korea for a little longer to try some dalgona, a street candy that took out contestants in the hit show Squid Game and nearly took me out too. The world outside Korea became aware of dalgona when it played a rather significant role in the Netflix drama Squid Game. Dalgona is a hard candy that is stamped with different shapes, like triangles, stars, or circles. School kids in the 60s and 70s would buy the candy from street vendors, and the idea was that if they could separate the shape out without breaking the candy, their next one was free. This innocent school kid game took a rather dark turn in Squid Game. Contestants who were unable to separate out their shape or broke it in the process were eliminated from the game. And if you watched the show or you know anything about it, you know what that means. In honor of Squid Game, I thought it would be fun to make some dalgona and see how hard it really is to separate out those shapes. What I didn't realize was how hard it would be to make the candy in the first place. Making dalgona is really incredibly simple. It's just sugar and a little bit of baking soda. You basically caramelize your sugar, and then the baking soda is there to kind of puff it up at the end and make it light and crispy. It's sort of a honeycomb-like structure. The different shapes that I have to make today are like the ones in Squid Game. So there's the star, the circle, the triangle, and of course, the dreaded umbrella. All right, let's get to it. We're gonna start with just a little tiny pan. It could not be any easier. 2 tablespoons of sugar. And turn on your oven. From everything I've been reading, and we'll see how it works out, the trick is to start little circles on the outside, and never do a really full stir. We're gonna wait until we start to see a little melting in the sugar on the outside, and then we'll start stirring and see how it goes. You can see that around the outside, it's starting to melt. So I'm gonna start to stir around the outside. It's starting to smell really yummy and caramely. I'm gonna turn the heat down. In fact, I think I've just burned it. I burned my first caramel. But you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do it just for practice. Little baking soda. You see how it sort of fluffens it up a little bit? And maybe I didn't burn it. It's already hardening up. Yeah, I screwed up, but we're gonna do it. It's supposed to sort of pour out nice and easy, and I'm gonna go ahead and play with this since I have it and I can maybe learn something from the screw up. I want to flatten it, so I'm gonna use the back of the tin, but I'm afraid it might stick, so I'm gonna put a little bit of vegetable oil on the back of it. Smash it. It's hard candy, but it's not even big enough for me to do. Fail. So we're gonna give this another try. I did a little research and realized that I should have been doing it on low heat. So we're gonna try it again, shall we? 2 tablespoons of sugar, let's do it. Since the caramel is still stuck to the wooden spoon from my last effort, I think we're gonna go silicone this time. Okay, one more. All went in my disposal. I think I need to turn it up. It's like not doing anything. I was already to saying smooth like butter, but nothing I'm cooking today has butter in it. Poor planning on my part. This is supposed to be easy! If you're a street vendor doing this, it takes you this long to do every one. I can't imagine that's very profitable. Note to self, do this on a gas stove. I think it's starting to melt.
I see dead people.
Guess what's happening? I don't think there's any coming back from that. Fail number 2. Okay, so after 2 failed attempts on my glass top stove, which is apparently not the best way to do this, I've come outside to use this little camp stove that I have. Let's try it again. 2 tablespoons of sugar. It's on low. I'm trying something new. I'm gonna stir it a little bit more while it's still dry. This is just what you want to be doing on a hot North Carolina afternoon. It's pushing 90 out here today. Thank you. It's at least cloudy, so it's not miserable, but you know, you want to turn on a camp stove and wear your jeans and cook outside. I just want one to work. I don't need the full selection of shapes. I just want one. And I'm afraid that's a crystal right there. I'm gonna take it out. Don't crystallize on me. Don't crystallize on me. See that crystal? We're getting rid of it. That one too. Get out. Get out. Out, out, damn spot. Oh, crystals. Look at that. This is so hard. Why? That is definitely not what we want. While I recover and regroup, let's learn a little bit about Korea. Until recently, most Americans knew embarrassingly little about South Korea. We could probably name the Korean War and maybe MASH, the hit TV show about the war. But now, the Korean wave, or Hallyu as it's known, has taken the world by storm. Korea is a top exporter of pop culture, including movies, soap operas, which are known as K-dramas, music, known as K-pop, video games, and even junk food. The world leader in cell phones isn't Apple, it's Samsung, a Korean company. And if you haven't yet dived down the Korean skincare rabbit hole, I have 3 words for you: collagen face mask. Squid Game is part of the Korean way of breaking viewership records around the world. So if dalgona is going to be the next big thing here in the States, I'd better get back to figuring out how to make it. So I'm seriously thinking about changing the name of my YouTube channel to Fantastic Fails with Jen. Jen Can't Bake. What's another B word for failure? Bombed baking. Good one, Kim. That's my next channel idea. I'm getting serious now. Hair's going up. We're going back to high heat. I also had better luck with the wooden spoon. I don't think it has anything to do with it, but I'm feeling a little bit superstitious right now. I'm gonna try anything that might work. How many tablespoons of sugar? 2. Is there a patron saint of baking? Because I feel like I need to pray to that saint. Saint Honoré, a French bishop from the 6th century, is the patron saint of bakers and pastry chefs. He even has a pastry named after him, the Gâteau Saint Honoré. Yum! Let's put that on the list for a future episode. I'm begging you, Saint Honoré. Get the baking soda ready, because I'm going. When it starts to melt, we're going. Okay, it's melting. Let it go. Just let it go. Let it melt. I'm gonna see if I can force these crystals to melt. It's melting. Oh. Stir it up. Oh, making a mess, making a mess. Look at, you're getting some honeycomb airage going on there. Oh, I'm feeling good, y'all. I'm feeling good. Still going to be too small, I think, but I don't really care. As long as I can get a stamp in there, it's going to be a good day. Okay, let that sit for a minute. Got my greased tin to flatten it. This is a bit of a gas. I don't really know what I'm doing. In case you didn't already know that. And it's stuck. Ta-da! I don't know if that's ever coming off. Ouch. It's really hot. I'm calling that a win. Oh. They're a little thin.
It's only a wafer thin.
Since this was actually supposed to make 1 dalgona and not 2, poor Squid Game contestant would have been in big trouble with this one. Time to put Kim to the test. But I promise, there will be no Squid Game-like elimination in my kitchen.
I'm just trying to get the star shape out of this. Is that what I'm trying to do? Okay, we're still alive. I'm dead. I'm dead. Can I eat it though? It's caramelly, nothing wrong with that. I'm dead, but it's good.
If, unlike me, you know anything about caramelizing sugar, you have probably been screaming at your screen for the last 10 minutes or so, because as it turns out, if I had just continued to let those crystals melt, they would have turned out just fine. But what fun would that have been? Next up, China, by way of mooncakes, traditional pastries with intricate designs and fillings that might surprise you. The summer heat here in North Carolina has finally broken, so to celebrate the cooler temperatures, we are making a staple of the Mid-Autumn Festival, mooncakes. If you're lucky enough to live near an international or an Asian market, you might notice in August or September the bounty of beautiful mooncake tins that there are available. They're a popular gift among friends and families during the Mid-Autumn Festival, which is a little bit like our Thanksgiving in that it really emphasizes family reunion and gratitude for a bountiful harvest. I have never tried a mooncake, but instead of just buying one of those fancy tins, I thought, hey, why don't I just make them? The obvious answer, of course, being because they're super complicated. But I reasoned that the last two things I baked with you here on Borderless Baking were supposed to be easy and turned out to be challenging. So Gen Logic says that this recipe that's supposed to be very difficult is going to turn out to be a piece of, well, mooncake.
Ugh.
Sorry, that was so bad. Mooncakes can be made a million different ways with a million different fillings, but I've decided to go with the traditional Cantonese mooncake, which is a salted duck egg yolk. Yes, I know, very interesting. Surrounded by lotus seed paste, surrounded by pastry dough, and then stamped with this really beautiful pattern on top. I'm super excited to give it a try. It's complicated, but we'll see how it goes. There are only 4 ingredients in this dough. There is something called golden syrup, which you can buy, but I opted to make because they said it would be really easy. And I burned it, but I did eventually get it. It's just sugar, water, and lemon juice, but you cook it almost like a caramel on the stove for a long time. And if you saw my Squid Game candies, you know how really terrible I am at sugar on the stove. So there's golden syrup. You mix that with something called lye water, which you can buy online or at any international market. Peanut or corn oil. You mix those together, and then you dump that into the flour, and that makes this dough. I'm going to start by portioning out the dough that I made. I'm measuring them out 40 grams a piece, and I got that number from the recipe. I'm using 100-gram molds. Your egg yolk plus your seed paste and your dough should be 100 grams. I'm allowing 40 of that for the dough. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. So I'm just brushing some flour on each of the balls. But as you can probably hear in the background, my very anxious dog appears to need to go outside. When we come back, we're going to look at some salted duck egg yolks. There are a couple options for what you can get. The variety that I bought is boiled salted duck eggs. I got these at my local Asian market. I don't think I have any actual preparation to do with the eggs, but I want to get them out, kind of take a look at them, see what I'm dealing with. You can actually get raw duck eggs that you cook and extract the yolk from that. And then I think you also have to bake that yolk. But these, I think I just have to take the yolk out. So here we go. Come in a little individual package. I'm very intrigued. I wish I had something to do with the white, but can't imagine what I would do with roasted salted duck egg whites. Okay, odd, very odd. They're kind of gooey. It's kind of gross. So maybe I'm just going to be dealing with a sort of gooey blob like that. Let's try another one. I fear I bought the wrong thing. If they're all like this, I may be going back to the Asian grocery store tonight to get the other kind. This is looking a little more promising. That one looks passable, if kind of gross. I'm pretty sure this is not what they're supposed to look like. So I'm off to Super Chew to get the other kind. Let's go get some duck eggs. I think I see them. These turned out to be the exact same thing, just in a different package. So, time to regroup and research. It's a new day here in the kitchen. I have been to a couple of different Asian grocery stores looking for the alternate version of salted duck egg yolks. I even came close to buying something called balut eggs, which are absolutely not the right thing. Finally found them. This is what they look like. Time to cut this open and see what we got. So these are much firmer than what I was dealing with yesterday. They have like a hard kind of outer shell. I can't quite square how this is the same thing as this. So what I'm gonna do actually is I'm gonna try baking these, the few egg yolks that I was able to extract yesterday from the actual egg, and see what happens. While those are baking, let's learn about Chang'e, the woman in the moon. Legend says that long ago, the earth had 10 suns. Their scorching heat threatened the earth and its people. The great archer Ho Yi saved them by shooting down 9 of the suns. In gratitude, the Queen Mother of the West gave Ho Yi an elixir of immortality. But the potion was enough for only one person, and Ho-yi could not bear to live forever without his beloved wife, Chang'e, so the elixir remained undrunk. When Ho-yi's evil apprentice, Pang Meng, tried to steal the elixir, Chang'e drank it herself to keep it safe. She rose into the sky and became the moon goddess. Today, during the Mid-Autumn Festival, families gather beneath the harvest moon to honor her sacrifice. Mooncakes, shaped like the full moon, are shared as symbols of completeness and family reunion. Let's check in on our mooncakes. They don't smell very good, I have to say. Ooh, they're still pretty unworkable as far as mooncakes go. I don't know that these would ever be the right thing. I don't know what you would do to them to make them right, because they certainly don't compare in any way to this little hard nugget that I'm going to be able to form dough around. I would never be able to do that with this. And now I have 6, 8, 12, 18 cooked salted duck eggs, and I have no idea what to do with them. With the price of eggs these days, it feels like an enormous waste to get rid of them, but I don't know what to do with them. Any suggestions? Lotus seed paste. This was far and away the most complicated process of this whole endeavor. Here's what's involved. First, split the lotus seeds and clean out any green centers. Even one missed green can turn the whole batch bitter, so you have to open every single seed. It takes forever. After soaking them overnight, boil and simmer them until they're soft. Then puree the cooked seeds until they're smooth. Cook the puree for about 30 minutes, adding oil, powdered sugar, and maltose in small increments. At this point, your lotus filling should be stiff enough to hold its shape. Mine was not. I tried cooking it longer, baking it to attempt to dry it out, and finally adding cornstarch. I have here a bowl full of lotus seed paste. I'm honestly super concerned about it. As you just saw, it was still very wet when it went in the fridge. It's pretty firm now, but I'm pretty confident that I can form what I need to form out of it, but it's pretty soft. This should be more like dough and less like sloppy paste. I did go out and cheated, and I got some lotus seed paste from the market this morning. So I will probably do half of my mooncakes with the store-bought lotus seed paste and half with lotus seed paste that I made. So this is the store-bought. Doesn't look any firmer than mine. In fact, it might actually be less firm. That's interesting. Let's taste. I have to say that mine tastes a lot better than the store-bought, but we'll have to see how it forms. The average of the eggs I'm going to call 15 grams, and we have 40 grams of dough for the outside. That's 55 from 100. We want to measure out 45 grams of lotus seed paste for each cake. And back to rolling more balls. And we're rolling, rolling, rolling on the river. Get up, do, 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 ba-da-ba. I'm also scooping up some balls from the store-bought lotus seed paste. You can see it's kind of weird and almost seems a little gooey. I didn't think it was going to be workable the way it felt in the bag, but it's actually pretty great. It's got a little bit of a spring to it almost, so I think it will definitely pay to make some out of this paste. Okay, I've got 6 of both. It's time to assemble. I'm not gonna lie, I am super nervous about this. This has been a 5 or 6 day odyssey to assemble all of these pieces, and this is where the rubber hits the road. So I have everything ready to go. I'm gonna take one element of each piece from the fridge at a time so that they stay nice and firm in the fridge. So I have lotus seed paste, dough, and egg yolk. I've got my molds here, pretty cool. They come with a bunch of different patterns, so you can do your lotus cakes in different shapes. Here we go. We start with the egg yolk. It's time to get serious. I don't know, wash my hands. I'm gonna grab a lotus seed ball, smash it out into a round, and then put the egg in the middle. Wrap the seed paste up around it until it seals off. Try to get it even around the egg yolk. And once it's nice and enclosed, roll it like a little ball. Put it in the fridge. I'm gonna record this so I won't forget. This is going to be the pattern for my lotus seed paste. This is going to be the pattern for red bean paste. And what should we pick for the other one? We'll make this the pattern for store-bought lotus seed paste. I fucking forgot how much is which. Crap. I'm procrastinating a little because I'm nervous about this. But I think it's time to just go for it. Dough. It's refrigerated, so it's pretty stiff, and I'm thinking I may need to bring this to room temperature because it's cracking. And this needs to go around this. I'm gonna go ahead and roll these out. Okay, let's see how that is. This is where my mushy lotus seed paste is going to be a problem because I can't really form it because it squishes out. So I'm going to have to make sure that I roll that dough out bigger than it needs to be so that it will overlap, because I don't know what else to do about that at this point. So I'm going to put one of my little things in here. There's little things that go in the grooves. I don't think it's all the way in, but it doesn't seem to be coming out. I'm gonna brush it with flour. Here it goes. Stamp. Fill it, and then push it down until you can't push any further, and lift it up. It's so cool. Oh my god, it's so cool. I don't know what's gonna happen on the inside. It may ooze all over the place, but right now it looks amazing. I'm gonna switch to the store-bought lotus seed paste for a little while because it's a little firmer, while my homemade stuff is firming up in the freezer a little bit. I need to switch the mold to match the lotus seed paste. They may all end up with the exact same pattern because I cannot get this out. Help. Now that that's sorted, let's go through it one more time. Folding it up, pressing the dough down, sealing the holes. I'm using just a little bit of water on my finger to sort of smooth this out a little bit. Don't want to use too much because I don't want it to get sticky in the mold. Take my brush and flour it up. Take the mold, press it down until it won't go any further, and hold it for a little bit. And bring it up. And then if you have to, you can just push it out a little bit. And there it is, look at that. I can see the egg yolk in there. I'm not sure that's a great thing, but what are you gonna do? Can't undo it now. Rinse and repeat. I have to say, overall, I'm pretty pleased. Before I put them in the oven, I'm going to spritz them with a little water to prevent cracking. Here we go. Initially, they only go in the oven for 5 minutes, and then we're going to take them out and do a little egg wash, and then put them back in. Take them out, do another little egg wash, put them back in for the final bake until they get nice and golden brown and beautiful. These are my mooncakes, y'all. What do you think? I'm pretty excited about them. I think they came out pretty great. I'll show you a little up-close vision of them. Whoa, Jen, how about we not dump the mooncakes on the floor? Let's take a look at them laid out safely on the counter. To maximize their shiny appearance, mooncakes should be kept in an airtight container for 2 to 3 days after baking. 3 days have passed by. The mooncakes are ready to go, and I'm sitting here with my friend Lo. Hello. My friend Marie. And we are going to give them a taste. Are you ready, Lo?
I'm ready.
I've served some jasmine green tea to go with our mooncakes for our own little mini mid-autumn festival. They look pretty, but I have no idea what they're supposed to taste like or if they're any good, but we're gonna find out.
Okay.
Here we go. That's what it's supposed to look like. There's the moon.
How do they say happy eating?
칭찬요.
Okay. Hi, Oscar. Do you want a mooncake? You want to try one? How long do I have to keep this in my mouth? Can I give him a piece?
No.
Where's the marshmallow?
So what is in the center?
The center is a salted duck egg yolk.
Fascinating. I'm glad you didn't tell me before.
When that middle yolky part hits you, it's not pleasant. I didn't find it to be pleasant. Not my favorite dessert, to be honest, just being honest. It's lovely on the eyes, lovely to look at. Thought you were inviting me over because you were making moon pies, which are my favorite. I was ready for like chocolate and marshmallow.
So here's a $1 million question. Would you have spent a week to create that?
Hell no. You invested a week? A whole week?
Yeah.
A whole week.
I would not have spent a week to create that, but I say I'm a better person for having tried it.
Cheers.
Cheers. The tea is fantastic.
No. Given the less than stellar reviews of the mooncakes, nobody liked them, including me, I thought that maybe it would be a good idea to try actual mooncakes. Thankfully, it's the right time of year, so I was able to find a celebratory box of mooncakes. It's either the same kind I made, lotus with egg yolk. They're individually packaged. They're quite pretty. Texture's similar, mine's a little stickier. I'm guessing, given the silicone pad inside, that there's some chemistry going on there. They're much taller than mine are, too. Ooh, very pretty. Here goes. I think I can honestly say that my mooncakes were as good as the store-bought variety. But I can also honestly say, in the immortal words of my friend Marie,
Not my favorite dessert.
not my favorite dessert. At least not the traditional kind anyway. Maybe next time I'll try snowskin mooncakes with strawberry cream filling. But what an adventure this has been. I hope you've enjoyed the ride as much as I have. Let's head over to Japan by way of hanami dango, a tricolored treat made for cherry blossom viewing, and so cool, it has its own emoji. Normally, my culinary travels originate in my tiny North Carolina kitchen. Today, I have the pleasure of launching our exploration from this beautiful kitchen in Lexington, Kentucky. And here to explore by my side is the beautiful and fabulous and my dear friend, Esther.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Bluegrass State.
Esther, would you like to tell our friends why I am here in
Oh.
Lexington, Kentucky?
Absolutely. 3 very, very important letters. B, T, S. They had a live comeback show on Netflix at 7 o'clock this morning. And she came so we could watch it together because
Yes.
A, that's what good friends do, but that's also what good Army does.
We had a little mimosa.
A little mimosa.
It was great. Swim.
Swim.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
That's all we know of the song.
We're working
Because
on
the
it.
album was just released.
I'll have a dance for you before you know it.
I won't.
So today's adventure is a traditional sweet called hanami dango. Hanami comes from hana, flower, and mi, to see. So flower seeing. It was created as a portable snack that people took with them on picnics when they went to go see the cherry blossoms in bloom in the springtime. Dango, very simply, is a sweet rice dumpling shaped into a ball. And at this point, you may be thinking, Jen, do you do anything other than make balls? There have been a lot of balls on the show. Dango is actually a very common Japanese dessert, and it varies from season to season and from region to region. So a very common dango that you see all over Japan, apparently, because we've never gone there, is something called mirarashi dango, which is plain dango balls covered with a sweet soy brown sugar glaze. Another popular kind of dango is tsukimi dango, and it's kind of cool. They make a stack of the white plain dango balls, and in the center of it, there's a bright yellow or orange one that's made out of kabocha squash, and that's there to represent the full moon. So you would see that during the mid-harvest festival. I think it'd be kind of cool looking.
But it's not a salted duck egg yolk in the middle, right? It's made out of squash.
You wound me.
I'm sorry. If you know, you know. It'd be better with squash.
And though I hesitate to say this, and I should know better, this should be very easy.
Those are dangerous words.
Yeah, I know. So it's real simple. Really incredibly simple. It's just
That's really not worked out before. But you know, she's in Kentucky.
hope springs eternal.
Yeah. Fingers crossed, hands together. Here we go.
Are you ready to make some hanami dango?
I am.
If it's okay with you, I'll just kind of direct
Yeah,
you and let
absolutely.
you do all the work.
I love it.
Okay, so for starters, I got all of our ingredients out here. There's only 4. So like I said, it should be easy. So the first ingredient we're gonna use is something called joshinko, which is a Japanese rice flour. This is what it looks like. I got this on Amazon. You can also get it at, if you have an Asian market near you or a decent international market, you can get it in other places as well. We've got 100 grams of joshinko in this bowl here.
What is this?
That is the second flour we're going to be using. It is a glutinous rice flour called shiratamako. Same thing here.
Oh, yeah.
A good Japanese grocery store, good Asian grocery store or international store should carry this, but if in a pinch, you can get it from Amazon. So I've got 100 grams of shiratamako, so I have 100 grams of both, and that is obviously a 1-to-1 combo. There's a million different ways that you can do it. Apparently everybody has their particular preference on how chewy or how not chewy it is, and those are things that you can experiment with based on how much you use of the different flours. So the third ingredient we have is hot water. You have 160 milliliters of boiling water that we'll add a little bit at a time. So we'll pour that out when it's time. Fourth and final ingredient, Esther, we forgot the sugar.
Ah! I have to have sugar in my desserts. It's a
I do
rule.
too. Only 67 grams of sugar for this particular quantity. It makes the dango a little softer and it gives it a little bit of sweetness.
We definitely want that.
Before we start mixing things up, we want to soak our skewers.
Okay.
And you want to use 6-inch skewers. I ordered these online because I really liked this version with the little paddle on the end that you can grab onto. We're going to soak a handful of those in the water.
Soak. I'm gonna make them all the same direction because that satisfies me.
I love that about you.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we're ready to start mixing some stuff
Okay,
up.
great. I'll put these aside.
So big bowl, and we're
Great.
gonna go the official Japanese way. You're gonna use chopsticks to mix it up.
Yay! I'm actually very good at chopsticks.
Yeah. So 100 grams of joshinko,
Okay.
your Japanese rice flour, 100 grams of shiratamako, and 67 grams of sugar.
I guess I'm gonna stir this.
Yep, just mix that all up. I'm gonna go ahead and get you some hot water.
Thank you. It's so much more fun being in the kitchen with a good friend.
So I've got 160 milliliters of
Okay.
boiling water, and we're gonna add it a little bit at a time. And Esther's gonna keep mixing it. You may not need the whole amount, so you wanna keep an eye on it. You don't want it to get too gloopy or sticky. And I guess when it starts to form clumps,
Which it seems to be
is
doing.
when we're gonna stop.
But I think I need some
I
more
think
water.
that's a little too dry.
Yeah. Hit me again.
You're quite good at that, Esther.
I know. Looks like you might not use all the water, but I think we probably will. That's my gut instincts, you know, because I've made so much of this in my life. But I'm just good at so many things. We need a little bit more water, just a little bit though. Oop, thank you.
I think you could form that into a ball, Esther.
Do I just make one big ball?
Yep.
Okay, with my hands?
Use your hands, yep.
Try not to be overwhelmed with how well I do this. Buckle up.
I'm curious, I don't know what the rules are about kneading this kind of dough, if you can overwork it.
Right, yeah,
or-
like biscuits.
No, I'm not sure. Maybe somebody can let us know that.
There's
in
a
the
ball.
Comments. Great. We're going to divide that into 3 parts, put them into 3 different bowls, and then 2 of them we're going to color. We're going to color one pink and we're going to color one green. Hanami dango is 3 colors. It's pink and green, white. Traditionally, the green comes from mugwort, also called yomogi. I am going to do a batch of that and see how it works.
Alrighty.
It's a little bit more complicated. You can just use food coloring. Yomogi needs to be dissolved in hot water and sit and then be mixed in. Mugwort is more common in Japan, but this is actually a little bit difficult to get here. I had to special order it, but you know me, I like to do things all tradish.
I do.
The same goes with the pink. Traditionally, the pink is colored with the actual cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms.
Cherry blossoms. And they do it with salted, pickled, edible sakura cherry blossoms. They love their salted things. Salted, pickled, sakura cherry blossoms.
All right.
So for the emogi, I'm gonna put 5 grams, which is probably this entire packet. All right, we're gonna do a half batch.
All right.
So since we only have 3
3.
grams of mugwort, we're gonna put 15 milliliters of hot water in here. So Fester, if you wanna go ahead and stir that up.
Okay.
So we're gonna go ahead and let that steep for a few minutes, and then we'll strain it and put it in the dango to color it. In the meantime, we're gonna do the same thing with the cherry blossoms. They feel
Like candy.
dampy, like they've got some moisture in it, so maybe not quite as much water for these. They're kind of interesting, Esther.
They are.
There's a lot of salt in there. You want to touch?
Yeah. Oh, it's really pretty.
And they're beautiful. They've held their flower. They've held their shape.
I kind of want to taste one.
Here you go.
I don't really need to taste one. Okay, it's really salty.
Okay.
It's like really salty.
Should I try one?
Oh,
I have to try it.
it's like putting your
Okay.
tongue in a pile of salt.
Okay. I mean, it feels like a pile of salt.
but it looks like sugar. It's awful. I should have lied and said it was delicious and had you put a big one in your mouth, but hindsight, it's awful.
Woo! I guess I don't need to be chintzy since we're not going to be partaking of any.
Yeah, we're not going to be snacking on it later as we rewatch the BTS concert.
Okay, we'll put some hot water in there.
I feel dehydrated after tasting that. Like sucked all the moisture out of my body.
That may have been too much water.
Come on, turn pink. Now we wait.
Now we wait. While our mugwort and cherry blossom steep, let's find out a little bit more about hanami dango. In 1598, warlord Toyotomi Hideyoshi hosted a grand party to celebrate and view the blossoming sakura cherry trees. There was court music called gagaku and poetry, and of course, delicious foods delivered from all corners of Japan. Hideyoshi, a reputed lover of dango, called for something unique, something other than the savory dango with soy sauce that was popular at the time. The call was answered in the form of sanshoku, or 3-colored dango, with the 3 colors representing the life cycle of a cherry tree, from pink buds to blooming white and green leaves. The slightly sweet and portable treat was the perfect accompaniment to the flower blossom viewing festivities and became a hit throughout Japan. To this day, hanami dango is a popular snack in Japan for picnicking under the blossoming cherry trees. Our mugwort has been sitting in hot water for about 5 minutes, so we're gonna strain it and see if we get enough green tinted water to tint our dango. We got about half a tablespoon of green liquid. It smells grassy.
Yeah, it doesn't smell bad. Doesn't smell bad.
We're gonna go ahead and mix it in one of our thirds of dango dough and see if it turns it green or not.
I think we're gonna have to use food coloring. It just made it a little bit of an off-white color. I mean, I guess there can be off-white on cherry blossom trees, but I think we were going for green. We are going to now try it with the pink. Hopefully the cherry blossoms will work.
We should probably put less water. So maybe not quite as much water for these. That may have been too much water.
It's just a lot of pink wetness. This is not what we're supposed to get. Time for the food coloring.
Mugwort was a no-go.
No-go.
Salted cherry blossoms, no-go.
No-go. Not for coloring or snacking.
No, but y'all would be so proud of me. I didn't have to go to the store.
Woo!
I anticipated failure and already bought the powdered food coloring that was recommended for dango.
Oh, well done, you.
I know, thanks. So we have red and we have green. We're just gonna use toothpicks to pick just a tiny little bit of the powder out and put it in there because a little bit goes a really long way.
It's gonna be pink. And you did not need that much of the powder.
No, you sure didn't. Look at that.
Yeah, lots of color.
And your hands are turning pink too.
Well, they complement my nails. It helped adding the water. I think we might add just a hair more. We just kind of barely get it wet. You don't want the dough to get too moist, but it has to be moist enough for the powdered food coloring to dissipate. Oh, look at that. She's pink and pretty. Like me.
Okay, now we're gonna do the green. I'll get dirty this time. Funny, it's very orange. It's
Yeah.
it's like an oxide almost.
Yeah, it looks like rust. It's recording. When you hit cancel recorded, the recording video will not be saved.
Or if we didn't record it, we didn't record it. Ooh, look at that, that's so cool. It touches the food and it immediately turns green. It's amazing. So what does this feel like? It feels like a softer version of silly putty. Esther, who has a small child, tells me that it feels like Play-Doh. I think we have enough green.
Oh, minty.
It is very minty. Yeah, this one's blending really nicely. I don't think we're gonna have to worry about adding any water. Here's Jen rolling balls again. And we're rolling, rolling, rolling another ball. Never again, I promise. That's the last time. I think we're good to go. We're going to take each one of these balls, roll them out into cylinders, and then divide them up into 6 different pieces, which we will then
More wonder balls again.
wonder balls.
There's a theme.
There's a theme. Generally, you want to start with the lighter colors first. I will start with the white. Esther, if you want to start with the pink.
Perfect.
And we'll save the green for last.
And I guess the reason for that is so the green doesn't get on the other colors.
Right. If in the process of rolling out your cylinder or your balls,
This is how you roll it.
they start to crack, you just use a little dab of water to moisten it up.
Voila.
So we have everything we need to finish this up.
Hey.
We have our dumplings ready to go in the water. We have a pot of boiling water. We have a spider strainer. Did you know this was called a spider strainer?
No, I didn't.
I was 2 days ago old when I learned that this is called a spider strainer.
Wow. It seems like they could make them in other forms than like other spider webs.
Okay, I was now old when I realized that that was a spider web. That's embarrassing that I didn't even put that together. But I didn't put it together because they're all called spider strainers, even when they don't have this pattern.
Okay, well you learn something new every day.
I might be wrong about that. I probably am. So, boiling water, spider strainer, dumplings. We have a bowl of ice water. The dumplings go in there after they're done cooking. And then we have a plate with a little bit of water on the bottom of it that the dumplings go on after they're done in the ice water so that they don't stick. We're gonna put the dumplings in the hot water. You put them in, they sink to the bottom. You wait until they come to the top. 1 minute after that, you pull them out. So it's roughly 7 or 8 minutes. Then they go in the ice bath. We're gonna start with the white ones. As we talked about before, we don't want the green or the pink one to color the water and ruin our beautiful white dumplings. So we're gonna start with white, okay?
It's gonna go great.
Okay.
You're on the bottom. Oh, Jen, they look amazing. They look so great. We did so good.
Time to assemble.
I know, I'm so excited.
Pretty self-explanatory. Green, white, pink.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
They're a little sticky.
Ooh, they sure are.
Green.
Look what I did.
You did pink first. I'm gonna use some water on my fingers to help it not be so sticky.
I'm gonna try again. Green on the bottom.
Okay, white and pink. That's right. I did it. I did it. I did it. Did it. Did it. Yeah, they look great. Oh, we did that. A day in the kitchen in Kentucky.
And then you want to kind of push it up towards the end so that there's no sharp point coming out the end of your.
It's awesome.
Should we
Oh,
have a sword fight?
yeah. But then we'll stick together.
Oops.
Well, they are glutinous. These are beautiful. I love them. What a fun day. Aw, well done.
We did it.
Yay!
We have 6 beautiful hanami dango to take with us on a picnic to find some cherry blossoms. We just have to find some cherry blossoms.
We do. I have an idea of where we can eat them under a cherry blossom tree. In Japan, even. Look, we can just sit here and taste under the cherry blossoms. Yummy! Isn't this perfect?
So here we are.
Yes.
We have our beautiful hanami dango ready to go. I think they turned out really amazing.
They look amazing.
I need you to pretend like this is matcha tea.
Okay, well, oh, it's hot.
We're out here under the beautiful cherry blossoms because that's what you want to do when you eat your hanami dango. You want to be viewing the beautiful cherry blossoms.
They're beautiful.
Aren't they gorgeous?
They're gorgeous.
They're so gorgeous.
I know.
Shall we try?
Yes.
You first.
It's really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, here I go. My turn.
It's chewy and it's like the perfect sweetness. So good.
I do like that. Super sticky and gooey and
Yeah.
yummy.
I kind of want to shove the whole thing in my mouth.
Go ahead. I have to say, I'm kind of glad we didn't use the salt.
too big of a bite. Maybe just half of one each time.
Okay, I think this was a success.
Yes.
Chin chin.
Cheers. It's a hit. And because we used food coloring, there's no difference in the taste between the pink and the white. So it's nice, it's consistent.
I think I would hate that saltiness that we.
Oh, yeah. I think maybe we didn't have the right kind of cherry blossoms. I mean, I definitely don't think we had the right kind of cherry blossoms. I think our cherry tree is talking.
Cherry tree, would you like one?
I like it.
Yeah?
I kind of like it a lot.
You gonna go back to being the cherry tree?
These are so good.
So there's an expression in Japanese, hana yori dango,
Hana Yori Dango.
which means dumplings over flowers. What it's referring to is someone who values practicality and substance over refinement and beauty.
That's not me. I'm refinement and beauty.
And
Can't you tell?
practicality and substance.
Well, we're very good friends.
You're my yin.
You're my other one.
These are so good, but they're very sticky.
I know, but they're so good. I mean, these are so good. I'm literally like eating it like corn on the cob. I'm like,
getting every last piece off the skewer.
Thank you so much for doing this with me, Esther. This is a blast.
And it was fun. You're
We'll have
welcome.
to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I loved it.
On to Thailand by way of sankaya faktong, a creamy coconut custard in a pumpkin shell. Two great tastes that taste great together.
My coconut.
Is in my pumpkin.
It's doggone good.
Sankaya is the Thai word for coconut custard, and faktong is the Thai word for pumpkin. But in Thailand, the only kind of pumpkin they have is kabocha squash. When I saw sankaya faktong in a Thai cookbook, I knew immediately that I wanted to try it. First, it's absolutely beautiful when it's done correctly, so let's hope I pull it off. Second, it's two of my all-time favorite flavors, pumpkin and coconut. And finally, it's a really interesting dessert, and it's cooked in a way that I have not tried before, so I thought it would be a fun challenge to try that here with you all. Let's get to it. Let's talk ingredients. To make sankaya faktong, you will need 1 kabocha squash, duck or chicken eggs, palm sugar, coconut milk, rice flour, kosher salt, and pandan leaves. First and foremost, kabocha squash. A couple things to look for when you're buying your kabocha squash. Preferably it's a nice dark green color with some orange on it, which is an indication of ripeness. If it has a stem, great, that'll make it easier to pull off and put back in. You don't want a really big squash. If the pumpkin is too big, you're filling it with too much custard, and then you're at risk of it not cooking at all, and you have a big gloopy mess in the middle. This is a great size, about 2 to 3 pounds. Eggs. Traditionally, the Thai recipe would use duck eggs. I do have duck eggs today. You can use chicken eggs. The conversion is about 1.5 chicken eggs to every duck egg. So like 6 eggs where I'm gonna use 4 duck eggs. Some people even add 1 extra yolk to that because duck eggs have a higher yolk to white percentage. So you really want that richness from the egg yolks. But we have duck eggs today, so we're just gonna use 4 duck eggs. Palm sugar. I went down the palm sugar rabbit hole. And yes, there is a palm sugar rabbit hole. There's a bunch of different ways you can buy it. You can buy it in a tub, which I guess is the traditional way they would get it in Thailand. More often you're gonna find it in pucks. The pucks I was able to find here were very light colored and very crystally, which is precisely what I was told by the denizens online not to use. I also ordered something online, which was already shaved palm sugar. I'm not sure if they're okay or if they're the right ones. In a pinch, you can use brown sugar. I'm just gonna taste the 2 of them and see which one I like better. Rice flour. You don't have to use rice flour if you don't already have it in your pantry. You can use all-purpose flour, or you can even use cornstarch. Interesting thing I found out, particularly with the Thai packaging, red means non-glutinous and green is glutinous. Important to note, that does not have anything to do with gluten, G-L-U-T-E-N. Both glutinous rice flour and non-glutinous rice flour are gluten-free. Gluten with an E is in wheat. Gluten with an I just refers to, for lack of a better word, the stickiness, the gooiness of it. We want the non-glutinous because our custard doesn't need stickiness or gooiness. Kosher salt, nothing special about that. Coconut milk. You want to use full fat coconut milk, not coconut cream. It's preferable to get it in these UHT cartons. They go through less of a heat process, so they maintain more of their flavor. Who knew? Last but not least, pandan leaves. I was able to get these in my Asian grocery store in the frozen section. If you can't get them, you can use vanilla. It will work just fine. The first thing we want to do is cut open our squash. Much like if you've ever carved a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween before, you want to just cut a little lid off of the top encompassing the stem, and you want to cut it at an angle so that when you put it back in, it doesn't slide right down into the pumpkin. Get yourself a nice sharp knife and go to town. Be very careful, don't cut yourself. I might actually use a smaller knife, a little more control. Smells like pumpkin. Ta-da! That's beautiful color. I think I picked a good one. Go ahead and cut off the pulpy part of the lid. Loosen the guts a little bit with a fork. And then you just scoop out the seeds using all my years of jack-o'-lantern carving experience. You want this really nice and clean because you want the custard to be able to adhere to the wall of the pumpkin, and frankly, you just don't want a lot of gross pumpkin guts on the edge of your custard. There. Okay, nice and clean. Very important, don't rinse out your pumpkin because that moisture will prevent your custard from adhering to the inside of the pumpkin wall. We don't want that to happen. But you can just take a damp paper towel and wipe out the outside so it's nice and clean. I'm excited. It looks awesome. I'm gonna take a quick taste of the two kinds of palm sugar I have and make the decision about which one I'm going to go forward with. I think I like the darker one better. It has a little bit more depth of flavor. This next part can be done a couple of different ways. The point of it is to dissolve the palm sugar in the coconut milk and to also release the flavor of the pandan leaves. In Thailand, they do it by hand in a process called kayum. But if you have bricks of palm sugar or hard palm sugar and you can't break it up by hand, you can put it in a pot and put it over medium heat, just enough to dissolve the sugar. You don't want to boil it or reduce it or anything. Since I'm using the shaved palm sugar, I'm going to go ahead and try the kayum. So you're going to mix your palm sugar, all but a little bit of your coconut milk and a couple of your pandan leaves. Leave a little bit of the coconut milk out so that you can dissolve your cornstarch or your rice flour in that a little bit later. You could, of course, use a spoon or a whisk to mix this, but using your hands allows you to massage the pandan leaves to really release their flavor. That's not going to work. Those grains are not dissolving, and we want them to dissolve. Slight change of plan. I'm going to work with the other palm sugar, which I think will dissolve just fine. Coconut milk. Remember to leave just a little bit in the bottom to dissolve your flour later. Palm sugar. This is going to be fun to stick my hands in. And then palm leaves. Crush up the pandan leaves a little bit in my hands and then put them in there. Mix them up. This is dissolving much better than the shaved palm sugar did. It's already absorbing pretty well. I'm trying to see if I can smell what the pandan actually smells like, but it's hard to get past the smell of the palm sugar. It does smell vanilla-y, but I'm not sure, again, if what I'm smelling is sweet or pandan. I'm gonna go with pandan. So that palm sugar has dissolved really nicely. Move on to the next step. I'm gonna go ahead and put my rice flour in with my little reserved coconut milk. I'm gonna do that ahead of time to avoid any lumps and glumps, which I would get if I just dumped this into the whole mixture. Nice and smooth. Next up, I'm gonna take our duck eggs. I already cracked them. I cracked them ahead of time so I didn't have to worry about pulling any shells out later. So I have my 4 duck eggs. They're big, beautiful yolks. Now I'm gonna add my mixture of coconut milk and rice flour and a teaspoon of kosher salt. Mix those up really good. And finally, we're gonna add our palm sugar and pandan mixture and coconut milk into our eggs and whisk that. And now we're gonna strain it. I'm straining this into a bowl that has a pour spout on it, which will make it a lot easier to pour it into the pumpkin. So a little trick I learned online was to use some tin foil around the base of the pumpkin. Not only is that going to keep it secure in the bottom of the steamer, but it's also going to hold it together a little bit if there's any cracking so that you won't have any oozing custard if there is any cracking later. Here goes the custard. And you just want to fill it up to right under the bottom of the edge. So I'm going to put the lid on and then we're ready to go. And we're ready to steam. So I have my steam pot already boiling with water. I'm going to turn that down to medium. I still want it to simmer, but I want it to go down to medium. If you go too high, you'll ruin the texture of your custard. It won't be as smooth and silky. This should take probably about an hour. I don't think I'm going to have enough water to last an hour, so I want to keep an eye on that and add a little water if I need to. There we go. While our custard is steaming, let's take a look at the fascinating history of the woman behind sankaya faktong. Maria Guiomar de Pina was born in the 17th century in the Kingdom of Siam, modern-day Thailand. At the time, Siam was ruled by King Narai, a monarch known for welcoming foreign traders, diplomats, and ideas into his court. In 1682, Maria married Constantine Falcon, a Greek who rose to become one of the king's most powerful advisors. Through him, Maria entered the world of royal life. But this golden era did not last. In 1688, the Siamese Revolution overthrew the pro-foreign court. Falcone was executed, and Maria's life changed overnight. Stripped of her status, she was forced into service in the royal kitchens under the new ruler, King Petrarca. Yet it was here, in hardship, that Maria left her greatest mark. The Portuguese influence of Maria's childhood made it into her cooking and onto the table of the Siamese court. Many of her dishes became staples of Thai cuisine, including sankaya faktong. The addition of egg yolks was a uniquely European twist, and the use of pumpkin shell to steam the custard in lieu of ramekins was inspired. Today, Maria is known in Thailand as Tao Tong Kit Ma, a noble title synonymous with the golden egg-based desserts she created. It's been about 35 minutes. My custard is starting to ooze out of the squash a little bit, so I want to test it. That's not good. When I went to lift the lid off, a bunch of custard gooed out on the side. Clearly it's not done, so I'm going to add some more water and wait another 15 minutes. I've got quite a bit of custard gooping out around the lid. I obviously overfilled it. Let's see how the custard is. Ouch. Hot. You can test your custard with a skewer just as you would a cake. Definitely not done. Very gloopy. One of the methods for checking doneness is to use a thermometer and see if it has reached 170 degrees. So I'm going to check it that way. According to the thermometer, we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off of the heat, and I'm going to let it come down to room temperature, and then I'm going to chill it in the refrigerator overnight, and we'll cut into it tomorrow and see how we did. Time to cut it open and see how we did. You want to make sure your knife is super sharp, so when you cut through the custard, you get those really beautiful clean edges. Here we go. Clean in between cuts. Isn't that beautiful? I'm super excited, look at that. Perfect. It looks perfect anyway. I hope it tastes good. I'm gonna cut up a couple more slices, and then Marie and I are gonna test it out. You guys may remember Marie. Hello. She has come to try out the sankaya faktong with me.
Sankaya faktong? Did we just say a cuss word?
Sankaya faktong.
Okay.
Sankaya means
Sankai.
coconut custard,
Okay.
which is in the middle,
Mhm.
and faktong means pumpkin, which in
Okay.
this case is kabocha squash.
Okay.
The squash is completely edible, including the skin. Ready to try it?
Sure.
Okay, let's do it. You can say it.
Not my favorite dessert. The custard's very smooth.
I love the coconut. I'm not sure I taste the pumpkin at all.
If you taste the pumpkin by itself, you don't taste the pumpkin.
No, you don't. It's pretty bland. I think if I were just going to make this custard, I would just put it in ramekins and not bother with the hassle of the pumpkin. One of the stories about the woman who created this dessert is that she just didn't have ramekins, and so she used a pumpkin. I don't know if there's any truth to that story.
That would make sense, though. When do they eat this?
Excellent question. I don't actually know the answer to that. Maybe someone can comment in the comments and let us know if it's a particular holiday dessert.
When would you serve this as a hostess?
I actually think this would be really cool on like a Thanksgiving table. It would make a really nice centerpiece.
It would. For someone who doesn't like it too much, I'm kind of enjoying it a little.
Cheers.
Cheers. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
So creative.
Next up, Vietnam by way of bánh bò, or honeycomb cake, so named for the bubbly texture hiding under the crisp brown crust. Bánh bò actually translates to cow cake, a name that is believed to come from its resemblance to the spongy lining of a cow's stomach. Anyway, Another, maybe less interesting interpretation is that the character for bo also means to crawl. So some believe that it might refer to the crawling of the batter up the sides of the pan from the action of the baking powder. I think you can choose whichever one you like better. I'm going with the cow stomach. Bánh bo can be either steamed, hot, or baked, nướng. I'm going with the baked version today, bánh bo nướng, as I like the idea of that crispy crust contrasting with the chewy interior. I'm dressed in green today in celebration of this eye-popping cake, and I'm really looking forward to the challenge as, by all accounts, this one can be a little difficult. We can end up with overflowing batter in the oven, we can end up with a fallen cake at the end. There's all manner of disasters that could befall us, but I am feeling confident. Let's talk ingredients. You will need room temperature eggs, coconut milk, coconut oil, tapioca starch, non-glutinous rice flour, sugar, pandan extract or paste, kosher salt, 1 bag of vanilla powder, and double-acting baking powder. We've spoken before about rice flour, so I won't get into too much detail here. Just know that for this recipe, we want the red-labeled non-glutinous rice flour. You should be able to get both that and the tapioca starch at any decent international or Asian market. And of course, you can always buy it online. Pandan extract or paste is a little bit more difficult. You could, of course, use pandan leaves, but the consensus for this recipe seems to be to go with the extract or the paste. I think primarily because you get that really vibrant green color. I wasn't able to source any pandan paste, not even online, but I did find several different versions of the extract. What we're looking for are the jasmine and vanilla notes that you get with pandan leaves, and we also want it to be a really bright, vibrant green that's going to make our cake a showstopper. The problem seems to be you get one and not the other. Either you have a little bit of a chemical taste and the green is really vibrant, or you have a great natural taste, but it's a really pale green. But I gotta tell you, I'm not above using a little green food coloring if I need to. Vanilla powder was also a little bit tricky to find. I did find it at a specialty Vietnamese place here in Charlotte. It comes in these little cute little dispensers. It's not necessary to your cake. In fact, I only found it in one recipe, but I'm very intrigued with the reason for it, which is to cover the aroma of eggs. This is an egg-heavy recipe, and so apparently it smells of egg, and the vanilla powder can help mask that smell. Much like the extract, I'm gonna smell the batter, and if it smells super eggy, I might go ahead and throw some of this vanilla powder in. But come on, look at these cute little packets. So cool. Perhaps the most important ingredient of bánh bo nướng is baking powder. That's what gives it its fabulous texture. I bought the Alsa baking powder, which is apparently what they have in Vietnam. It is a single acting baking powder, but I today am going to use double acting baking powder. What's the difference? Single acting baking powder has one action. It reacts to the liquid, and that creates carbon dioxide and bubbles, which makes your cake rise, which is what gives any cake its rise. Double acting baking powder does that, but then has a second reaction when it hits the heat in the oven, giving you another shot basically at getting your cake to rise. With the Alsa, I would have to get the cake in the oven immediately after mixing the dough, which is not really conducive to this situation. So Cloudwork Girl it is. Let's get to it. First order of business, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 and put my bundt pan in there to heat as well. I'm not going to grease the pan, however. Next, we're going to combine the coconut milk, the sugar, and the salt in a pan just over medium heat to dissolve the sugar and the salt. So I'm going to go ahead and take it off the heat and let that cool back down to room temperature. My coconut mixture is back to room temp, so I'm putting it in this mixing bowl. That yumminess scraped out. Next, I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of pandan extract into this mixture. I went with the Butterfly brand. It has a really nice smell and it has very vibrant green color to it. Look at that. I'm mixing in the green pretty well at this stage because once I put the eggs in there, I don't want to overmix it. Definitely no need for food coloring. Next up, we have our 6 room temperature eggs. I'm going to pour them in here and crack the yolks, but I'm not going to whisk them. I just want to crack the yolks. One of the hard and fast rules of this cake is you do not want to over whip the eggs because if you get too much air in there, your cake will collapse at the end. We don't want that. The dry ingredients are gonna get sifted right into the batter. So I'm gonna start with the tapioca starch. Next up, rice flour. Last but not least, baking powder. We're gonna whisk this very gently. Again, we don't wanna introduce any air into the batter that will make the cake collapse. This may take a minute. This batter will absolutely be lumpy. You don't need to worry about it. We're just getting the flours incorporated at this point. There are a couple more steps that we're gonna take to make this a little smoother. One of those smoothing steps is to strain it. This would be a great cake for St. Patty's Day. You just push this through the strainer. Almost there. And now you can just scrape off all that good stuff on the other side. Okay, I'm adding 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. You can use solid coconut oil, but you just need to make sure that it's melted ahead of time so that it incorporates well into your batter. Mix that gently to combine. And then we're gonna let this sit for 10 minutes to let the flours and the baking powder get evenly distributed in the batter. It looks pretty well incorporated. I'll give it one more stir before it goes in the pan. I never did use the vanilla sugar. It doesn't smell overly eggy. I don't need to add an extra ingredient that could do I don't know what, but it's so cute. I'm gonna figure out something else cool to do with it. Kind of looks like something illegal. This is all gonna go a little bit fast. I'm gonna pop open the oven, pour the batter into the hot pan, and shut it right back up, and then it'll cook for about 40 to 45 minutes. When I poured the batter into the hot pan, it made this really great sizzling noise on the outside. And I'm assuming that's what gives it that nice crispy texture on the outside. Here we go. While our bánh nướng is in the oven, let's talk a little bit about Vietnamese coffee. Did you know that Vietnam is the 2nd largest producer of coffee in the world, second only to Brazil? I didn't know that. Vietnamese coffee is known for being both strong and smooth. That comes down to 2 reasons. First, the bean that they produce in Vietnam, the Robusta bean, is actually less acidic but more caffeinated than the Arabica beans we're used to in the West. Second, in Vietnam, they use a metal drip filter called a phim, which produces a really strong and concentrated coffee, which sometimes is referred to as Vietnamese espresso. If you've ever had Vietnamese coffee, it was probably sweetened with sweetened condensed milk. The French introduced coffee to Vietnam in the 19th century when fresh milk wasn't really readily available, so they used shelf-stable sweetened condensed milk, and it stuck. Thank goodness, because it's delicious. I am going to make a Vietnamese iced coffee, café sua da, to have with my bánh nướng, and I'm going to use this Trung Nguyen Vietnamese coffee. Here in the US, the coffee of choice for Vietnamese restaurants is actually Café du Monde. I've even been told it's a bit of a litmus test that if you walk into a pho restaurant and they don't have this on display, walk out. I, however, am going the traditional route and I am going to use a Vietnamese bean, Trung Nguyen. Start by boiling some water. Preheat the filter and cup by pouring a bit of your boiling water through it. I like my coffee strong, so I'm putting in 2 heaping tablespoons of coffee. Ooh, that smells good. Pour a tiny bit of water in the filter just to wet the grounds and to let them expand a little bit. Tamp down the grounds after wetting them. This will help get rid of some of the small grinds that happen to make it through the filter. You can toss those out if you see any. Fill the filter all the way. Place the cap on and watch the coffee drip. Add some sweetened condensed milk. And some ice. And you've got yourself a café sua da. Cake's been in the oven for about 45 minutes, so we're gonna test it out. Just like any other cake, you test it with a cake tester or a toothpick, see if it comes out clean. It looks a little wet, but looks can be deceiving. that actually looks clean. To keep the cake from collapsing, I'm not actually gonna pull it out of the oven. I just turned the oven off and opened up the door to let it cool slowly. The cake is out of the oven. I'm very excited. It looks okay. It fell a little bit, but not too much, I don't think. I need to loosen the edges a little bit so that it will come out cleanly. Okay, I'm gonna flip it out. It's a little scary because there's a lot of distance between the top of the cake and the cooling rack, so it's got a long way to fall, but I'm confident. That felt really good. I was expecting more brown. This is what I would have expected from the steamed version. I didn't get any of that crispy outer layer that I was hoping for. And I'm assuming that's what gives it that nice crispy texture on the outside. It's kind of a funky green color. Ready to cut in? Let's do it. It's very spongy, as expected. Moment of truth. That is super cool. I didn't get the crispy outside that I was looking for, but that is the funky texture that this cake is all about. And it does kind of look like a cow stomach. Look at that bright green color. Good thing I wore my matching green. Time to taste it. It's very chewy. I can hear myself chewing. It's all about the texture. I love the texture. I taste a little bit of grassiness, which I would expect from the fondant, and maybe a little vanilla-y. It's good. It's tasty. I think I would serve this as a Halloween dessert because it's pretty awesomely green. I'm a little disappointed I didn't get the crispy outside. I'll have to do a little sleuthing and see what I did wrong to see what I have to do next time to get the crispy crust. More importantly, let's taste the coffee. That's really good. That I will make again. A quick hop over the South China Sea to the Philippines by way of turon. Golden, crackling sugar on the outside, soft, sweet banana on the inside. A 1-2 punch of deliciousness. Oh good. Turon is a Filipino fried banana roll made with saba bananas, brown sugar, and lumpia wrappers. It's commonly enjoyed as a merienda or snack. Speaking of which, I could use a little snack, particularly one that involves deep frying in caramelized sugar. Let's get baking. To make turon, you will need ripe saba bananas cut into slices. I will be using Thai bananas today, fresh or canned jackfruit cut into strips, dark brown sugar, spring roll wrappers, and a neutral oil for frying. First and most importantly, saba bananas. And these are not saba bananas. At my local international market, I found these. They were labeled Thai bananas. I asked the produce guy if saba bananas and Thai bananas are the same thing. He said yes. They are not. From what I understand, the texture of saba bananas is closer to a plantain, and these Thai bananas are softer, closer to like a dole or a chiquita banana that we get here in the United States. I did taste one of these yesterday. It was nice and sweet, and since I've seen a lot of people online use regular old South and Central American yellow bananas for turon, I think these will be just fine. While it's very common to make turon with just saba bananas, or Thai bananas in our case, it's also very common to add jackfruit. I had to ask the interwebs how to pick a jackfruit because I've never tasted one nor purchased one. I think this is a quarter or a third of a whole one. It was recommended to buy a partial one so that you could see the inside, because I don't know if there's a test for jackfruit. There must be. I don't know what it is. But my favorite advice was to look for a fruit that is the color of a ripe pineapple or SpongeBob. I think I nailed it, but just in case I picked badly, I got backup. And of course you have to have something to wrap this beautiful fruit up in, spring roll wrappers. I am going to try to make these today, but as you may know, and as I've already demonstrated today, I like to have contingency plans, so these are my backup. And on that note, let's make some spring roll wrappers. Okay, for the spring roll wrappers, You need about 2 cups of flour, a teaspoon of salt, and 3/4 of a cup of hot water. The temperature of the water is important. We're waiting for it. It just boiled, so I'm waiting for it to come down to 140 degrees. Apparently that's the perfect temperature for the springiness we want in our spring roll. It's getting close. I'm gonna go ahead and put the flour and the salt in the bowl, and then I'll add the water when I'm done with that. And I think it's cooled down enough that I can use my hands now. We're just getting the flour incorporated. Adding a little bit more water because it's just a little bit too dry. I can eat a smidge more. So apparently Oscar is seeing something outside the window. Just a smidge more water. I hope I didn't just overdo that. Oh, I don't like the sound of that. Looks like I'm adding a little more flour now. Oh, shucks. I don't think it's supposed to be this sticky. I'm gonna throw in a little bit more flour. I don't want to get into that cereal loop. You know, the one where you get down to the bottom of the bowl and there's too much milk, so you add a little bit more cereal, but you've added too much cereal, so you have to add a little bit more milk, and it goes on and on and on until you've eaten like 4 bowls of cereal at the end of the morning. I think I'm good for water and flour. I'm gonna let this rest for 20 minutes. My dough's been resting for 10 minutes. I'm gonna knead it for another 3 to 5 and then let it rest for an hour. I love kneading dough. Is there any better feeling in the world than the feeling of dough when you're kneading it? As much as I love it, I don't actually make a lot of bread, which is kind of surprising, I guess. You could knead this in your food processor if you want to, but then you'd miss out on this great feeling and great workout. Okay, that's nice and smooth. That's what we're going for. I'm gonna cover this up with saran wrap and let it rest for an hour. Time to wrap our turons. Normally, I would wait and see how mine come out and try to use those first, but it is stormy here in North Carolina today. The light is getting low and I want to get these frying so we can try our first batch at least. And then when my wrappers are done and they're perfect, of course, we can do it again. All right, so I'm gonna do it very gently. It reminds me of pulling those awful stickers off. You do it really gently from the outside so it'll come off clean. If you try to rush it, you will end up with a torn label. And in this case, a torn spring roll wrapper. One down. While we're wrapping the turon, I am heating up the oil over the stove. You want your oil to be about 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Also sitting next to the oil on the stove is some white sugar. The traditional way of caramelizing the outside of the turon is to actually sprinkle white sugar on them while they are frying in the frying pan. If that doesn't work, we can make some caramel sauce. Although you may or may not know that that is not my strong suit. That is definitely not what we want. This really wonderful, stretchy texture. I've seen people do this online. You can roll it up if it's done right. Perfect. Next up, take your Saba bananas, or again, in my case, Thai bananas, and roll them in dark brown sugar. Put a nice little coating on there. If you've rolled a burrito or an egg roll before, it's the same idea. Put the triangle towards you, put your banana slice down towards the bottom, fold it over, tuck it under the banana, roll one time, fold in your corners, your edges, roll again, and then you're gonna take a little dab of water and dampen the edge like the flap of an envelope, and that'll seal it up. Perfect little. And I forgot to put jackfruit in it. Next one, corner towards you, put your banana in towards the bottom, put some jackfruit on top, fold the top over, fold the sides in, roll, dampen the edge, and seal. You get the idea. You don't have to seal these up. There's something called a single roll wrap. You don't fold in the corners, so you get more of like a longer cigar shape. Without all those folds of the wrapper, it can get crispier in the hot oil. So we'll do one that way and test it out. So you can see the difference. Let's fry them up. Magic number 350. As with all things frying, gently put it in the oil. Don't plop it in there. You don't want any burns today. Give that about a minute so they can brown on one side, and then we will actually turn them over. One of the lovely things about turon is this caramelized outside. A lot of people just drizzle caramel all over, but the traditional way to do it is to sprinkle white sugar on it while it's in the oil and let that caramelize. So I'm gonna try that. We'll see how it goes. Last one. Just little bits that are exposed above the oil. I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little more sugar on top of those. Let's go ahead and pull them out. They're nice and dark. I've seen them dark, I've seen them a little lighter. I tend to like fried things a little more crispy and a little on the darker side. So there's a few that still have white sugar on the top. I'm gonna throw them back in just for a few seconds to give that sugar a chance to caramelize a little bit. I have a healthy fear of hot oil. I'm going to slide this. Oh, I guess I turned the heat back on. At first glance, they look pretty good. I'm pretty excited to bite into that crunchy goodness. While our turon are cooling, let's learn a little bit about where they came from. Saba bananas have been a staple of Filipino agriculture for hundreds of years. Frying was a practical way to prepare ripe bananas before they spoiled. Chinese merchants and immigrants introduced spring roll wrappers, also known as lumpia wrappers, and Filipinos began to use them to wrap the bananas before frying. Later, Spanish colonial influence helped make brown sugar more widely available and affordable. Now the banana rolls were coated in sugar before frying, creating the sweet, crunchy, caramelized shell that defines modern turon. Classic turon is made with sliced Saba bananas, but fillings often vary by taste and region. Jackfruit is especially popular, though sweet potato, mango, and coconut are also common additions. At first, turon was mainly sold near banana growing regions by farmers looking for creative ways to use extra or overripe fruit. But over time, the snack spread into cities and across the country. Today, turon is just as likely to appear on a restaurant dessert menu as it is on a street cart. Crispy, caramelized, and filled with sweet banana, it is one of the Philippines' most beloved snacks. Now let's see if it becomes one of my most beloved snacks. I think they've cooled enough that I can go ahead and take a taste. Here goes. You know what the best part is? The caramelization worked. I don't have to make caramel. That is so yummy. That's a great trick to sprinkle the sugar on something while it's still in the oil. It's got this nice little crispy crust on it. That's delicious. You want one? You can't have one. I'm sorry. Not good for you. While it's still warm, I want to go ahead and try this one that was the single roll, so no folds in the wrapper, so even crisper. Here's a keeper. You gotta love fried things, right? Now that we've had a successful batch with the store-bought spring roll wrappers, I'm gonna go backwards and make my own spring roll wrappers and see how those turn out. The spring roll wrapper dough has been resting for quite a bit longer than an hour. Oops. If I were worried about it not having enough time, I could test it by sticking my finger in it, and if it leaves an imprint, it's ready to go. Ready to go. Now I'm going to roll them all out into 4-inch circles and stack them with a layer of oil in between. And yes, they're balls. I know, we've done a lot of balls on this show. Not very round. Not anywhere near 4 inches. Paint a little oil on there. Gonna make stacks of 4. Try to match up the edges as much as possible. And we'll oil that one. And we're gonna do this for a while. I'm only going to do 2 stacks of 4. I have a whole package of store-bought, and I really just want to see if this works. Here we go. So I'm picking up my stack of 4. So the goal is to get these out to about 10 inches. I don't see that happening. Maybe I am gonna get to 10 inches. 7.5. Got a ways to go. Ooh, look at that. Now we're going to put these in a pan over medium heat until they bubble, flip them, and then take them out. And cover with a dish towel to cool. We'll see in a little bit how we did. Moment of truth. It's hard to tell at this stage how you can distinguish the different layers. There are 4 spring wrappers in here. So I'm going to cut a little edge, sort of an opening pouch. I think this is splitting it in 2s. Look at that. Okay, well, halfway there. Let's try the crumple test. I did it! I made a spring roll wrapper. Overall, I am so pleased with how my wrappers came out. I had one that kind of got torn, but 7 out of 8 are absolutely usable. Some of them are a little thicker than the other ones. I'm not sure exactly how that happened when they were all mushed together, but I'm going to make some turon out of my spring roll wrappers. After tasting the first batch, I decided that I really preferred it with just the banana in it. The jackfruit honestly didn't add a whole lot to the flavor, so I'm going to make this second batch with just bananas. Since these wrappers are round, the folding will be slightly different, but the principles still apply. Rollin', 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 keep those doggies rollin'. Rollin', 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 roll hard. I had to come up with a new song about rolling. Y'all can only take so much of my poor imitation of Tina Turner. Okay, we've got 5 turon to fry. The oil's heating up. As soon as it hits 350, we'll fry them up. You can see the little drizzles of caramel on the top. So cool. And again, hey, I don't have to make caramel. Yay! Those are beautiful. I love it when things turn out right. Time to taste my spring roll wrappers and see how they measure up to the store-bought kind. These are so good. I definitely prefer it without the jackfruit. The banana is just delicious by itself. I will say my spring roll wrapper does seem to be a little bit thicker than the store-bought ones. One of these is the thin one that would be similar, but I think that's the advantage you get with the store-bought is the consistency, because mine are a little bit all over the place, but they taste so good. Honestly, can you really go wrong with deep frying in caramel? Crispy caramel. Yum. Probably not. And aside from homemade spring roll wrappers, they were really pretty easy to make, so I would definitely make these again and maybe experiment with what's inside. I hope you've enjoyed this glimpse of the Philippines through their beloved and delicious turon. I sure have. So good. Now let's head north to Mongolia by way of hagmik, caramelized clotted cream made from the milk of a yak. Or maybe a buffalo if you don't have access to yak milk, or perhaps cow if the buffalo milk doesn't really work. Hagmik is a dense pudding-like dessert that is both a staple comfort food and a special treat for celebrations like weddings and the Lunar New Year. For our last stop on this culinary exploration of East and Southeast Asia, I wanted to try something a little more unusual, something that maybe you'd never heard of. Enter Mongolia. Much of Mongolia's cuisine is centered around the meat and dairy produced by the animals that are herded by their nomadic communities. Hagmik is no exception, made from the clotted cream produced from fresh milk. Making hagmik, in theory, is not complicated. There's only a couple of ingredients, and it mostly involves a lot of stirring. The real adventure in trying to make this as close to the Mongolian variety as possible is in sourcing the milk. Let's go find some. So hanami can be made from all kinds of milk, including cow and goat and camel. But the most common form is from yak. As you can imagine, we don't have a lot of yaks here in North Carolina. There are a few in the mountains on the west, but even so, yak milk is not approved by the FDA for commercial consumption, so no yak milk for me. So of course I could make hanami with another kind of milk, but I really wanted to emulate the fat content of yak milk for that richer, thicker, clotted cream. Yak milk has about a 5.5 to 9% fat content, whereas goats and cows are like in the 3 to 4% range. The closest I could get was buffalo, and buffalo is in the 8 to 9% range. Not a lot of buffalo in North Carolina either. But I was able to source the milk from a farm in Pennsylvania. So this little quest is actually to pick up the milk that I ordered. I received a pickup time and a location, and we are on our way there now. As you can imagine, shipping specialty milk across 3 states is a little bit pricey, so I was only able to order a quart. But my consolation is that if it fails, I can try it again with cow milk, and I can use gallons and gallons of it. Okay, so I got it right off of the truck in a box. Here's my box. I'm gonna wait to open it up because it is refrigerated. I lied, I am gonna open it up. It was too expensive to not check and make sure I have everything. 1 quart raw buffalo milk. There's the liquid gold, y'all. 1/2 gallon raw milk. 1 quart raw bursting A2 kefir. Kefir. I'm not sure the correct way to pronounce that, but there it is. Aw, look at that. That is adorable. Thank you, Dorothy. I'm gonna box it all back up, get it home. Completely unrelated to this milk adventure, I just walked up to my car and there was something flapping on the top of it. It's a Post-it note I lost yesterday and looked for probably a half an hour. It is sticking to the top of my car and I've been driving around with it up there. How did it get up there? The first step is to heat this up over medium heat until it hits about 176 to 185 degrees, and then we'll do the next step from there. I only have a quart to deal with, so let's hope I don't mess this up. It smells like milk. Gotta get every last drop. Love that bottle, I'm gonna save it for something. While this is heating up, I'm gonna stir it constantly. Oops, splashed. Wow, I splashed a lot. I don't have that much milk to splash, Jen. Stop wasting your milk. The smell is a little bit different than cow's milk. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe a little sweeter? I love the smell of warming milk. When I was a kid and I would heat up milk to make hot cocoa, I would deliberately scald it because I love that smell so much. Does that make me weird? You've seen me dance the honeycomb. I don't think smelling scalding milk is probably very high on the weird list. Okay, we've got 180. Next step. Now comes the fun part. For 15 minutes, we're gonna aerate. And this is how we do it. This process of scooping and aerating the milk is called samra. Aerating the milk like this agitates the fats in the milk, which causes them to bind together and float to the top. That results in a thicker and creamier layer of cream. There's a little bit of a stink. I'm trying to figure out how to describe it. It's not that scalding milk smell that I like so much. It smells like an animal pelt. That's what it is. It smells like if you've pet a horse or you've pet a cow, and it's not a bad smell, but it smells like an animal. So I'm not feeling like it's frothy enough, so I'm raising the level of my ladling, and that seems to be making it a little frothier, if not a lot messier. Woo! 1 more minute, I'm going for maximum froth. And that's it. So off the heat, I'm gonna set it aside and let it cool down to room temperature, and then I'm gonna refrigerate it overnight. So we'll see you tomorrow and see what we've made. 28 hours later, I'm ready to see if we have clotted cream, or the Mongolian word for it, urum. Okay, so how this is supposed to work and how I've seen it done is that I'm supposed to be able to sort of just grab it off of the top and lift it off the top like an omelet. This doesn't look very solid. Let's try it. Well, actually, the alternate method is to just use a spatula and lift it out. I think maybe that's the way to go. And because the part where you cut around the edges, I don't even think I have to do that. There's nothing to cut around. Well, there's some solidness there, I guess. All right, I'm gonna go for it. What's the worst that can happen? That ain't it. Okay, but there's, okay. It's sort of, there is solid stuff there. So this is, well, 1 minute. I don't know if this little puddle of goo is going to be enough to do what I'm supposed to do with it, but I'm gonna try. Shall I try buffalo milk? It's, it's very gamey, kind of like, dirty animal pelt. Yeah, I don't think I will be doing anything else with that milk. And it's, I mean, not surprisingly, there's 8 or 9% fat in this. It's really greasy. I feel like I've put lip balm on my lips after having that 1 spoonful. You can see the spoon still has fat on it. Onward and upward, next step. Ever the optimist, I am going to continue with this process and see if I'm still able to make some hagmik out of my little pool of udon clotted cream. So I've heated this pan over medium-low heat, and I'm adding my udon to the pan. I was hoping for a lot more than this. I'm stirring, stirring, stirring. The little bit of solids that I did have now liquefied. What I'm looking for is for this to then start solidifying again, for the ghee, the clarified oil to separate out from it, and then it will get thicker. That's what we're hoping for. It's definitely thickening. It's now more like the texture of like drinkable yogurt. What's not happening is no oil is separating out. And that concerns me. I do have some oil separation. It's not yellow. I don't think it's the yellow gold that they refer to in Mongolia. It doesn't look very ghee-like, but there is oil separation, so maybe it's not a lost cause yet. I might get 2 whole tablespoons of hagmik at the end of all of this. It's not the yellow oil, but there is some oil floating to the top. So now I'm going to add a little bit of flour to thicken this up. The flour seems to have just made it foamy. I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar to sweeten it. This really looks nothing like what it's supposed to look like. I'm not sure if I should just keep stirring it. This looks a little bit like cornmeal dissolved in milk. I have a sneaking suspicion that I will be trying this again with cow milk. Interestingly, it now smells like I've made brown butter. It has that nutty, toasty smell of brown butter, which I suppose is exactly what it is. I think it's official. This is a failure. I really just think I've made crunchy brown butter that tastes a little gamey, but let's try it. Crunchy brown butter. The plus side is, I've got a lot of food in my teeth. Doesn't taste gamey. It just tastes like crunchy brown butter. Gonna have to try again with cow milk. For my second attempt at hagmik, I am using cow's milk. I bought this non-homogenized milk. Homogenization will make it more difficult, if not impossible, for the cream to rise. I'm even gonna add a little bit of heavy whipping cream so I get a little bit more fat content in there. Little insurance policy. Don't fret, I'm not gonna make you watch me stir for another 45 minutes or however long it's gonna take. We'll see you on the other side. Let that cool on the counter for a little bit, and then into the refrigerator it goes. And tomorrow, hopefully we're gonna have that nice thick layer of clotted cream to lift off the top of it so we can go on to the next step of hagmik. Fingers crossed. I'll see you then. In the meantime, I have a mess to clean up. I am absolutely thrilled. What I am seeing in here is exactly what I was hoping to see. It's this beautiful yellow color. It looks nice and thick. I'm gonna loosen it up around the outside and lift it off and see what we've got under there. I'm a little nervous. Here goes. That was really cool. So this is Mongolian clotted cream. We are absolutely gonna have to spread a little bit of this on some bread. That was heaven. I could eat all of that on fresh bread, I think. But that is not why we are here. We are here to make hagmik. We have one more step. I'm gonna have a little bit more. A little bit of deja vu here, but this time we have proper clotted cream. So I have faith that this is all gonna work out. And when at the end of this day, we are gonna have some hagmik to try. Ooh, here goes my beautiful clotted cream. Don't wanna waste any of that delicious goodness. Keep stirring it. I don't want it to stick to the bottom of the pan. The solids are all melted. Now what we're looking for is the ghee to start separating out. Seems to be thickening up a little bit. I'm gonna add a little bit of flour. You add it a little by little so you can get it fully incorporated. It's getting nice and thick, and we are starting to see a little oil separation. In Mongolia, they call ghee shartos, which means yellow oil. It's a very valuable commodity there. They use it as a traditional medicine, a couple teaspoonfuls of ghee for cough or flu. This is really cool. We're really seeing the ghee separating out here. Ghee can be frozen, so after I scoop out my hagmik, I can use that ghee for something else later on. I'm gonna go ahead and add some sugar and a little bit of salt. At this point, we'll lower the temperature and let it simmer until it reaches the consistency of like a thick fruit jam or a pudding. I don't know, would you consider that fruit jam consistency? I feel good about it. I'm going to scoop out, and you want to include some of the ghee in there. I'm making two, one for me and one for my imaginary friend. Note to self, gallon of milk makes 2 servings of hagmik. Raisins. One for you. One for me. Not at all of what I was expecting. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but that is delicious. It is so rich and so creamy. Not surprisingly, it's basically cream, but that is just marvelous. Well done, Mongolia. That is fantastic. It was a lot of effort in the end, but definitely well worth it. Oh, it's so different. Very much unlike anything I've ever had before. I would do this again. I hope you've enjoyed this Mongolian adventure as much as I have. And if you did, you're in luck, because we're sticking around to try arul, a traditional dried curd that fueled Genghis Khan's armies and might just fuel your next ride, if your taste buds are up to the challenge. Arul is a portable snack made from dried fermented milk. While I was researching last week's Mongolian hagmik, I came across this seemingly simple and popular treat. I thought it'd be kind of a fun bonus to pair with hagmik because they're both milk-based. I was already ordering the buffalo milk for the hagmik. I thought, why not go ahead and order the raw milk for arul as well? And since both of these treats involve more stirring than anything else, I thought, why not try to hit two birds with one stone? Or at least aim at two birds and maybe hit one. If you watched last week's video, you know that my first attempt at hagmik was a definite miss. So today, I'm taking aim at arul, a tiny, tangy survivor of Mongolia's nomadic traditions. Let's see if I can pull that off in my kitchen. Let's get started. I'm gonna cheat a little bit and skip the first step where you're essentially making yogurt, and I'm gonna start with yogurt. I have opted to use sheep yogurt. Why? Because the whole point of this is to try new things, to explore different tastes from different regions of the world. And if I just continue to use cow milk, then I'm not really trying anything new. So sheep milk it is. I positively refuse to say that this is easy, but it's easy. We are just gonna put the yogurt in a pot over medium heat and heat it up for quite a while, I think, until the curds and the whey separate. I am using quite a lot of yogurt. I have 3 24-ounce containers. It reduces quite a bit, and for us to have anything to work with at the end, I wanna load it up. Let the heating and the stirring commence. I'm writing my ABCs, lowercase cursive, so I can just write the whole alphabet. Or I guess I could write, what is it? This lazy dog jumped over the brown cow? The lazy dog jumped over the... I think it's the cow jumped over the dog. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just gonna end with lazy because I gotta get my Z in. Cow. Let's go sheep, since it's sheep yogurt. Exclamation point. We're about 45 minutes in. I don't really know how long this is gonna take. I'm an hour in. I'm starting to get a little nervous and starting to doubt myself. We're clocking in about an hour and 45 minutes at this point. I'm taking a bit of a risk that makes me nervous. I'm not gonna stir it for a little bit. I think I need to let it boil on its own for a little bit. I'm gonna stay close and keep smelling it, make sure it's not burning, but, oh, just splattered my whole oven. I'm gonna actually put a little lid on that and let it sit for a few minutes and see how that goes. And while that's boiling, let's take a look at arul's importance in the expansion of the Mongol Empire. In the ancient world, war moved at the speed of food. Armies from Europe to China depended on giant supply trains, and those wagons were a weakness. Slow, vulnerable, and easy to ambush. Cut the food, and you stopped the army. But Genghis Khan and the Mongolians solved this problem with something radically simple. Arul, dried curds known to foreign travelers as kurut, was boiled, pressed, and sun-dried until rock hard. With all moisture removed, it could last for years. Instead of supply wagons, every Mongol warrior carried his own food, arul and ear-dried meat. Lightweight, dense, portable. And when hunger hit, they didn't even stop. A few chunks of arul in water tied to the saddle would turn into a rich, nourishing broth. Without supply lines to protect, Mongol cavalry moved with terrifying speed. They crossed vast distances faster than anyone thought possible. Every rider was his own supply unit. That freedom made feigned retreats, surprise attacks, and massive encirclements possible. And with something as simple as dried milk curds, Genghis Khan built the largest land empire in history. I'm calling it. Let's see what we've got. I definitely feel much better about this. Around the edges, I do see some separation of ghee. So yeah, I'm gonna let this cool and then we will strain it. The curds are nice and cool. I'm gonna go ahead and strain them through this cheesecloth. I have the cheesecloth over a glass bowl to catch the whey that will drain through. I'm gonna get a piece of string ready to tie it at the top. You can do this in a muslin bag so that you don't have to tie it. This is what I had available. That's what I was hoping for. I'm so excited to see it do what it's supposed to do. I've been struggling with all these milk products, so it's really thrilling to see what I'm supposed to see. I'm gonna hang this and let this drain for about a half an hour. A couple hours later, my curds and whey are fully separated. It's still a little damp, but I'll show you what I'm gonna do about that in the next process. Oh, I guess it could probably. Oh, look at that, I could squeeze out some more. There seems to be a lot more whey in there.
Could be a record.
So I always wondered, Little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey. Is that cottage cheese she's eating? What is that? Because she's not eating that, right? I think this is workable. I'm gonna go ahead and do the next step. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to do with a bowl full of whey, in mass quantities. This can be turned into protein powder or whatever, but in a half a bowl. I have seen online I could turn this into caramel. I'm not gonna do that. So sadly, this is just gonna go down the drain. So the next step is we want to press our curds. I'm gonna put a dish towel down to absorb some of the water. Put a dish towel on top of that, a second cutting board, and then I'm gonna weigh it down with a couple of 10-pound weights. That's it. We'll see it tomorrow. Let's take a peek under the curtain and see what we've got. Do a quick little workout. Ooh. Here we go. Smells quite tart, as expected. I'm a terrible knot tire, and yet somehow I've managed to seal this up like Fort Knox. I'd like to try to save the cheesecloth. I think I got it. Moment of truth. It feels really lovely. It's very soft. The next process is to dry it, and that might take anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. We'll see how the weather holds up outside. But what I want to do is do some just plain, no flavoring, and then some I'm gonna mix with some sea buckthorn juice and sugar to sweeten it up a little bit, and those I will press into molds. But first, I actually wanna taste this. Honestly, it's not as tart or sort of as shocking as I expected it to be. Maybe it will get tartar as it dries, but honestly, some of the reactions you see people make when they taste this curd, you'd think that they were eating lemons. But I think it's actually quite nice. So for the plain ones, I'm just gonna slice them. And I'm gonna put a little sea buckthorn juice in there, which is a traditional flavoring for arul. I had a little trouble finding sea buckthorn juice, but I did end up ordering this online. Sea buckthorn puree. And it comes in these awesome little like juice boxy forms. It's quite tart. I would put it in the same family as passion fruit, but really full of flavor. It also gives it a really pretty color, I think. And I'm gonna put in a little bit of sugar. Not much, because like I said, I don't think this is overly tart, so I don't wanna make it a sweet, sweet thing. I just want to take the edge off the tartness a little bit. It has a little bit of a rubbery texture. The animal that the milk comes from can definitely affect the taste of the arul. From what I understand, camel arul is quite sweet. The taste will also vary depending on local ingredients. So you might find different kinds of berries or different kinds of juices. I think that's pretty well incorporated, but let me taste it. I like that. Let's go with that. Pressing into molds. So I did get these little silicone molds. I'm gonna try one first without any oil or any lining and see if it will pop out. If it doesn't, I will reevaluate. And press them in there really nice and hard so they're as dense as the ones that were pressed overnight under the weights. Okay, let's see if they pop out. Ooh, it cracked. So I'm gonna redo it. I think it probably cracked because I didn't push quite hard enough. So I need to really get down in there. Cool. Let's do that again. try. Let me think. One more idea. Instead of putting it in piece by piece, if I put it in one block, maybe that'll help. I got one! Yay! Let's try a different pattern. Maybe by the last one I'll have a trick. Oh, whatever I did that time worked. Let's try to duplicate that. There are a couple on here that have characters. I can't tell you what they are, and I'm always a little leery of using something in a language I don't understand, so I think I will stay away from that one. Probably says something lovely like Happy New Year, but I don't need to risk it. Not bad. Got enough for one more, and I think I'm gonna make my own shape. What should it be? I may have to push it down and start over. Yeah, that's no good. All right, smooth, 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 smooth. And that is why I am not doing a cake decorating channel. Let's hang them out to dry. In Mongolia, I would be putting these out on the roof of my yurt to dry. Sadly, no yurt, but I do have a deck, so I bought this herb drying rack where I will be loading up my curds to dry for the next week or so. Let's hope this keeps out the critters. I'll see it in a week. While it is summer here in North Carolina and consequently very hot, it's also very humid, and we've had quite a bit of rain. So over the course of the 9 days that I dried my otto, I moved it in and out to try to maximize heat and minimize humidity. It's been 8 days since I loaded up the otto for drying. I'm hoping it's ready to go. I haven't even touched it. I just want to experience it all at once. But since otto is a portable snack, I thought it would be more fun and more appropriate to take it with me on a bike ride today. Okay, why is that? The bottom is quite greasy, which I was not expecting. Let's see if the round flavored ones are as greasy. Yeah, that's pretty greasy. I don't like that. So while these are a little greasier than I expected, I don't think it's a problem. They're nice and hard the way they're supposed to be, so I'm just gonna towel them off, get rid of that grease, and proceed. With the otto packed up, it was time to hit the trails. I met up with my friend Noelle, and we set out to determine whether this centuries-old snack still earns a place in a modern-day adventure. It's about 1,000,000 degrees out here today. We need a little sustenance. Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
What do you know about otto?
Otter? I've never eaten otter, and I don't think that we should eat otter. How do you say it again?
Otto.
I've never had it, I've never heard of it, but I guess I'm willing to try it.
So let's start with the plain.
So it looks like a yogurt French fry.
Which isn't really well, it's not fried, but it is
Okay.
yogurt. It's just dried yogurt.
Cheers.
It squeaks.
It's food, right?
It's full of protein, fat, and calcium.
It's like eating plastic. Maybe plastic with a little bit of rubber. I really don't want to swallow it.
It's really good for your teeth.
Disappeared. There's a sourness about it.
They're supposed to be sour. They're actually not as hard as I expected them to be. I actually need to dry them longer, but I think after this taste test, I don't feel like I really need to.
I think you should ride your bike more with that extra time. It's an acquired taste. It just doesn't really fit my palate, but it is pretty.
It's beautiful. Thanks for trying it.
You did a lovely job though. Execution, 10. Taste. It'll look good on Instagram.
Before I shut the door on this Otto episode, I felt like I wanted to give it a second taste away from the heat and the bugs and the potential poison ivy of the mountain bike trail. So I'm gonna try it here today and give it a little bit more consideration than I did out in the wild. I need to wash them. It's very crumbly. I don't think it's terrible. Honestly, the texture is more of a problem for me than the taste. It just tastes tangy, but it's simultaneously dry and crumbly and hard to sort of dissolve in your mouth. I didn't achieve the hardness that I was hoping for. I guess I'd have to leave it out in the sun for another week or so to really get it as hard as it can be. This should be like hard to bite down on. Sometimes you see people sucking on them because they're so hard. They're very interesting. I'm super glad I tried it, but I'm probably not going to replace my protein bars with Aru. Maybe if I have the chance to try the ones in Mongolia, I'll change my mind about that. I hope you've enjoyed this double dip dairy day trip to Mongolia as much as I... Whoa, that was so weird. I just had this like deja vu or flashback or something. I don't know what to call it, but I had made Aru just like this, but in this dream or whatever it was, I had made it out of raw cow milk. And then I used kefir to ferment it and ended up with like this big blob that couldn't be made into Aru. But I guess I tried it anyway, and I used my mooncake molds, but it was kind of gloppy. So I tried to dry them out in the oven and ended up with burned little pucks that could not be reasonably compared to these. Weird. That wraps up this East and Southeast Asian leg of our borderless baking adventures. If you enjoyed traveling across Asia with me, I'd love to have you along for the next adventure. My goal is to keep exploring the world through desserts, one country at a time. We've made a great start, but there are a lot of countries left. So tell me in the comments, where should we go next? Then subscribe so you don't miss the next stop on the map. I can't wait to see where this journey takes us. See you next time. The behind the scenes of borderless baking. Welcome to my kitchen. Oh. I know, we've done a lot of...
Oh, I'm so glad I'm here. My kind of cooking show. I happen to be a fan of a yellow, not blue, right? Saying.
Esther, this is a family show.
I know. That's how they're made. Families, that is. Sorry, I can't do that one.
I said that wrong. So.
I mean, it's pink. Cylinder, that's what we're calling it. About 6 inches long. That's what he said. I'm so sorry.
I am super excited to try this dessert today. I say super excited a lot, don't I? But I'm super excited. I'm super excited. Super excited.
I'm super excited.
Me too.
I'm always super excited.
I haven't danced in this video. That wasn't a very good dance. I need a honeycomb cake dance. Well, it's a darn good life, and it's kind of funny how the Lord made the bee, and the bee made the honey, and the honeybee looking for a home, and they call it a honeycomb. Oh, clear. Oh, that's a timer. This is not a calculator, it's a timer. So I'm not really sure what that's gonna tell me. 4 seconds or 4 minutes and 73 seconds. Did you hear that? I guess you would call it sort of the Mongolian, no, I wouldn't call it that. Simmer for 5 minutes, and that's all we're gonna do for today. Well, that's not all we're gonna do for today. I can definitely see how it could be I don't know what. Weird again. Weird. Stop saying weird. Quit with this. That was a whole lot of mess.